guys, welcome to a brand new video on my channel, Meg's Movies. If you are new to this channel, this is basically where I talk to you guys about my passion for movies. This goes from collections, hauls, reviews, and today's video, so let's get into it. And I'm back with my top 10 of the 1990s, and we're now into 94, which, if I'm going to be completely honest here, like I said in previous videos, for 94 onwards, I think there's a lot more movies that I grew up with and that I know of. I mean, especially since 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To be honest, all of these movies I'd happily watch again and again and again. There's not one that I hate or anything like that. Well, not hate. Don't like as much as the others. If you catch my drift, like with the other ones, like maybe like 10 to 7 in the other lists, they were like, you know, I'll watch them again, I enjoy them. If you catch my drift, it's a weird way of explaining it. But all of these ones, these are the ones that, to be honest, I think it's like the top maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. To be honest, I think it's 1 to 7 here that I absolutely, truly enjoy, that I get a lot of entertainment from. And a lot of people will know exactly what movies will be in this list. A lot of people won't. If you're new people, you won't know. But if you know me and you know I'm a massive Jim Carrey fan, there's 3 movies that come out that year that I absolutely adore. So you'll see those on this list, but the question is, where on those lists? If you know me so well, you know what my number 1's going to be. If you don't, I look forward to seeing what you guys think. So let's get into it. So at my number 10 is True Lies. Now, the reason for this is because I have only watched this once, but I still enjoyed it. I still had a very good time with this film. I definitely need to watch it more. But compared to some of these, I mean, the 9th one is also one that I've only watched once. But I think because it's more of a recent watch, that's why it's a bit higher than this one. But True Lies is starring Arnie and Jamie Lee Curtis. Absolutely fun pair. I never would have put them two together. But they bounce off each other very well. It's hilarious. I wouldn't mind a sequel to that, since we're all about sequels these days. I wouldn't mind a sequel to that. See what happens next. But no, this is a funny film, and I do remember scenes from it. So it's one of those rare movies that when I watch it for the first time, the film scenes have stuck in my head a lot more, so I remember more of it. But yeah, so hence why that's at number 10. But at my number 9 spot is, like I said, another one that's a one-time watch so far, but I enjoyed it. And like I said, maybe it's because it's recency bias. Is that how you say it? At number 9, it is The Crow. This actually surprised me. I ended up enjoying this more than I thought I would. Darker than I thought it was going to be. Because I went into this without having seen a trailer or nothing. So, yeah. But no, this was actually a pretty good film. It was nice to see a dark comic book film. Because obviously a lot of the films, like especially like the MCU and the DCEU and things like that, they're not as dark as this. So it was nice to see a different side of comic book movies. 4K was absolutely brilliant. It's a good picture. And I will watch the remake that comes out this year, because I'll do an original versus remake. When that'll be, I don't know, because my local cinema is not showing it at the moment. So I'll have to wait and see when I can go and see this. But no, if you want something that's not Marvel or DC, but you want a comic book movie, this is one I'd recommend. Okay, number 8, I'm going to show the box set, but that's because I don't have this individually. And that is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I think this is like my 3rd favourite Elm Street film. I'm not really sure. I do plan on doing a ranking this year for these films during Halloween, because this is a ranking I've always wanted to work on. But I'm fairly certain this would be like my 3rd one. And the reason being is because this was sort of the basis for Scream. Because this is all about being meta. It's Heather Langenkamp coming back, but as herself, not as Nancy. And it's all about Freddy Krueger possibly coming back to life. And like, this, for me, was the starting point for Scream, I think, for Wes Craven. And especially a lot of interviews and things like that I've watched, they have said that some people have believed that this does sort of like give give off Scream aspects before Scream became the big hit. But I thought this is a very unique film. I like the fact that it was different. You've got the actors playing themselves, and you've got this little kid. I'm not going to lie, the little kid does annoy me like the tiniest little bit. But I still enjoy his character. And I think this is a really cool way of bringing back Freddy Krueger in a sense, because obviously with this franchise, it sort of went downhill. For me, I would say after 3, so a little bit of 4. Like, I do enjoy 4, but sort of like 4 was the start of it, and then 5 was the complete drop. Then, yeah. So I thought this was a really cool comeback, and honestly, I think it's like my 3rd favourite film, if I was to think about it. But when I rewatch these at Halloween, I'll let you guys know. But no, if you're someone that tried to get into the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, but you couldn't after like the 3rd one, skip to Wes Craven's New Nightmare, because you wouldn't have had to see the other films. That's neither here nor there. So you could go into this having watched maybe like the first 2, maybe, or maybe 3. First 3, yeah, I'd say first 3. Just because the 3rd one's got Nancy in it. But other than that, you wouldn't have had to watch the others to understand this movie. But no, if you want something that's a little bit different from what we did get from Freddy Krueger, Wes Craven's New Nightmare is it. Okay, and at number 7, this might be controversial for some people, because I know not a lot of people are a massive fan of this film, but you know what? I get a giggle out of it, and I add it to my Christmas watch list every year. Yes, I've included a Christmas movie in this list. And that is The Santa Claus. Don't ask me why, but I enjoy this film. I get quite a bit of enjoyment out of this. This is one of my go-to watches every year. I'm going to watch the Santa Claus season 2 at Christmas time, because I didn't get to watch that last year. So last year or year before? Year before. I can't remember. I get so confused now. But you know what? This is one of my favourite Christmas films. Probably not... it'd probably be like my number 10 of my top 10 Christmas movies. I like Tim Allen. I think this is a fun little movie. It's certainly different. But no, I know quite a few people aren't really massive fans of the Santa Claus movies. But I am one of them. And I'm glad I got this on Blu-ray. This is an American edition though, so I can only watch this on my 4K upstairs. But it is still fun and enjoyable. And like I said, this is one I return to every Christmas. At least this first one anyway. Other 2, not so much. Okay, so at number 6. This will also surprise some people that this is not in the top 5. But there will be a reason for that, and I will explain it in the other ones. But at least it made it to my number 6. Don't hate me for this, but my number 6 is The Lion King. This still is an epic Disney movie. If you have not watched this and you want to get into Disney, seriously would recommend this film. Emotional, hilarious, musical, just like, it's got all the emotions. It's got dark moments. Timon and Pumbaa, absolutely amazing side characters. They're like my favourite side characters from Disney, I think, to be honest. But then you've got Simba, this cute, adorable lion that grows up. You've got Scar, one of the better Disney villains we've had. I still need to do a ranking of the Disney villains, because I'd love to know where I'd put Scar. But the animation as well, the landscaping is just so beautiful. And honest to God, absolutely amazing film. But like I said, there are reasons why their other films are higher than this one. So I know a lot of people would probably put this at like their number 3, maybe number 2, maybe even number 1. But like I said, I will explain why this is at my number 6. Okay, so we're now at my top 5. So at number 5, what just beat Lion King by a smidge, is Speed. Now, the reason being is because the first time I ever watched this film, I felt like I was on the edge of my seat. I know this was just a simple, this was can't get the bus below, was it 50? Yeah, you can't get the bus below over 50. No, under 50, because otherwise it explodes. And you're watching this bus just go through the city and sort of like trying to keep the speed going, trying to help these passengers out. You got Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock. Honest to God, this is why this is a little bit higher than Lion King, just because of the impact this film had on me. So many times I was sat on the edge of my seat thinking, oh God, are they going to do it? Especially that jump scene with the bus. If you have seen this film, you'll know what I'm on about. I thought they're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. You know, it's certainly a good film, and the ending as well is really good. The start of this is really good. You got Jeff Daniels in this film, so it's nice to see him in other than a comedic role, because I think before this I had only seen him in the Dumber and Dumber films. I don't think I'd seen him in anything else. Not that comes to mind anyway. There probably was something, but not that I can remember. But no, Speed. I honestly had to put it in my top 5. It had to be in my number 5 because, like I said, it was the emotional impact. I felt tense. And I love a film that can affect me like that, when it can make me extremely emotional, when it can make me sing along, when it can make me happy, when it can make me shocked or scared. Like, a film like that will always make the top 5 of my list, no matter what. So yeah, Speed had to be at my number 5. Okay, at my number 4, like I said, a lot of people will probably put these differently, but at my number 4, it's Dumber and Dumber. Of course, there was no way this was getting past, like, the 4 mark. Out of the 3 Jim Carrey films I have here, there was no way this was going any, like, lower. It couldn't. I love this film. Jim Carrey, Jeff Daniels, absolutely amazing comedic duo. I need more films with these people because they do make me laugh. And this is just such a stupid film, but it's fun. It's entertaining. Honestly, a laugh a minute, and I have so many memories attached to this, and honest to God, such a good film. And I got to see this on the big screen, not last year, the year before, I believe. Absolutely amazing getting to see this classic on the big screen. This is why we need to show more classics on the big screen, because there's so many films I'd love to have seen. So yeah, but no, honest to God, iconic, hilarious, just stupid humour. I mean, the toilet scene in this alone is hilarious, and we all know what toilet scene I'm on about. But no, this had to be at my number 4. At my number 3 is another Jim Carrey film, and that is Ace Ventura, the first film. Oh my God. I love Ace Ventura. I think he's a hilarious character. One of my favourite characters by Jim Carrey. I absolutely love him. Just the weirdness, the whole head bopping thing when he walks, some of the lines he comes out with, just, there's so many funny scenes, and honest to God, I do not get how people can have a straight face when acting with this guy, especially when he ends up making a mistake. The bloopers are hilarious for any of his films. But Ace Ventura, absolutely funny film. Anytime I feel down, I go to this film, and it's just, Courtney Cox, she was in this. She was absolutely amazing in this. And yeah, so many iconic scenes. I can probably quote this film probably now at about like 80% of the movie I could probably quote now. There's one Jim Carrey movie that I can pretty much near on quote word for word. It's quite sad. No, it's not. But no, Ace Ventura, absolutely amazing. Obviously, if you're not a massive fan of Jim Carrey's over-the-top acting, you're not going to really enjoy this one, which is quite sad. Like, I feel bad, because I just love his overact. Like, he just goes over the top. It's hilarious. But yeah, so not a lot of people are going to like this one, but I'd say give it a go at least. I mean, it's not too over the top. But yeah, so at my number 3, Ace Ventura. At my number 2, beating that, just because of my memories attached to it, is the only animated film on this list, actually. No, Lion King was animated. Duh. The second is The Swan Princess. I loved this film so much growing up. I think this was my, my early memories of romance, I think. But no, honest to God, this is such a cute little movie, and I like returning to this every so often. I mean, this is why I picked it up on Blu-ray, because I was going to return to this. But no, I just have so many memories attached to this. I remember putting the VHS tape in for the first time and watching it, and listening to those songs and just watching the animation. I mean, the transformation of Odette into the Swan, the animation for that looks like amazing. It's all hand-drawn cell animation, and this is what I miss about hand-drawn animation, is that they just look so vibrant. I know with CGI you can make them look vibrant and things like that, but to me, hand-drawn just has that more natural effect, and I love that. But no, this is also a guilty pleasure of mine, because this is one I don't like to admit that often that I enjoy, especially with me now being nearly 30. God, one more year than 30. But no, I'm happy to say that I'd keep this at number 2 in my list. However, at my number 1, if you know me, you know exactly what movie is at my number 1, because this is the only Jim Carrey film from the 94 era that I have not mentioned yet. I don't know why I said era, year. And that is The Mask. Hands down! My favourite movie of 1994. I love this film from start to finish. This was my first ever Jim Carrey movie I watched. This was the movie that made me fall in love with him. He just makes me laugh. It's a comic book movie, and honestly, it's one of my favourites. And even when I was flying over to America last year, which I can't believe that happened over a year ago now, I put this film on because this film relaxes me, and it calms me down. It makes me laugh when I'm feeling down. And like I said, I could probably quote this film probably about 90% of this now. Mainly the Jim Carrey lines, but I could quote some of the other lines as well. I mean, I did the other day. The Mask come up on the TV. It was on BBC One the other day. And it was the end of it, which I was gutted about. But it's fine. I put it on. And I started quoting the ending. And I was just like, yeah, I may have watched this one too many times. I'd love to know how many times I have actually watched this film. Because I've never actually kept track. Probably about 30 times by now. But no, Cameron Diaz, this was her first ever starring role. Did an amazing job. I kind of got she hasn't really been in anything else much as of late. I know she's going to be in the Shrek film, Shrek 5 now. But she sort of like disappeared off, and I'm kind of gutted because I actually really enjoyed her character in this film. But no, my absolute favourite Jim Carrey film of all time, that will never change. And also my favourite film of 1994. And probably my favourite film of the 90s altogether. But yeah, so that is my top 10 movies of 1994. The next one is going to be 95, the year I was actually born. So I look forward to letting you guys know what that's going to be like. I haven't even looked at the releases for 95 yet. So I look forward to seeing if I am right in the sense of 94 onwards is going to be easier to make my lists. Who knows? But after I've done the 90s, would you like me to continue on and do the 2000s? Let me know in the comments down below, because I've actually really enjoyed doing this series. It's been pretty fun trying to work out what my favourite films are for each year, and especially making it like my top 10. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you'd like me to do 2000 onwards. Let me know. But yes, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then do give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to this channel, then go ahead, hit that subscribe button and also notification bell down below to be notified when I post. And leave me your comments and thoughts on this list. What is your top 10 of 1994? I'd love to know your guys' as well. Could it be similar to mine? I mean, I know a lot of people would probably put The Lion King or True Lies a lot higher than some of my other films I have on this list. So let me know. I'd love to. And like I said, there's a lot of films from the 90s I have not seen, absolute classics. So there might be some on your list that I haven't seen. So let me know in the comments down below. I'll see you guys next time.